Hello and welcome to another Bearded Geek toy review. In today's episode we've got a Zack Snyder's Justice League double bill as we look at the armoured Batman and the black suited Superman from said movie. Stay tuned.
Almost like a premonition. There's an attack coming. My lord.
He said the age of heroes would never come again.
Welcome back to the channel, and here we've got two of the figures from the DC Multiverse Justice League range. Now these figures were released about late last year in commemoration of the release last March of Zack Snyder's Justice League, which was the definitive version of that movie. And if you've watched my Flash video of the Speed Force Flash Ezra Miller figure, then you'll obviously know how much I really do absolutely love this movie. It's in my opinion, it's one of the best comic book movies released probably in the last 10 years or so. An absolute masterpiece and a huge improvement over the absolute piece of garbage we got back in 2017, which was what is now commonly called the Justice League, because Joss Whedon took over from the movie after Zack Snyder had to leave due to a family tragedy and reshot a large proportion of the movie, and any of the scenes that Zack Snyder had filmed that he kept in there, he changed angles, changed takes, changed the colour grading of the film so it looked lighter and brighter, the saturation of it, and then obviously merged that with his own footage, which in most cases stood out like a sore thumb. And I'm not just talking about the footage of Henry Cavill with his CGI upper lip due to the moustache incident. If you don't know about that, Henry Cavill came back for reshoots for the Justice League, but was filming Mission Impossible 6 at the time, which was Mission Impossible Fallout, and has a moustache in that film, and for some reason Paramount Pictures wouldn't let him shave it off for the reshoots, and it became like a bit of a heated argument between Warner Brothers and Paramount Pictures, and Warner Brothers said, well, we're not going to pay the fee that you're asking for an actor to shave off his moustache, we'll just digitally remove it. And what an absolute mess that was. So here's the standard packaging, and you've got the Justice League logo at the bottom, JL 2021 on there, and obviously this is Batman, Superman, just says Justice League inside with, again, the logo there. This one says Batman. Now obviously these are armoured, that's armoured Batman because he's in his armour that he appears in the final, but disappointingly on the back you actually just see him in his normal Batman costume, which was a bit strange. At least they got the image right on the Superman packaging. And as you can see on the bottom, you've got the other figures that are in the range: Aquaman, Cyborg, and the Flash. There wasn't a Wonder Woman figure in this range because they just released the Wonder Woman figure for the Wonder Woman sequel, Wonder Woman 1984. So what I'm going to do, hopefully if I get to complete this lineup, I'll be dropping that Wonder Woman figure in there, and I'll leave a link down below for not just that video where I reviewed that Wonder Woman figure, but also the review for the Speed Force Ezra Miller Flash figure as well, which is also from the same movie. Well, let's have a closer look, and I think we'll get Batman open first, and then we'll look at Superman. So just before we look at the figure in more detail, and again, let's have a look at the inner packaging, which again is made up of images of past comic books from the DC publications, and you've got your trading card there and your standard DC display stand. Now here's the trading card, again showing completely the wrong image of Batman, showing him in his normal suit, not his actual armoured suit. And again, if you want to freeze frame, there's a brief description there. And as I mentioned in the Flash video, it doesn't call it Zack Snyder's Justice League, it calls it the Justice League Director's Cut. But there you go, there's a brief description of the character. Again, a nice little thing to have. They're not really essential, but it's nice that McFarlane give us these things. And then you've got your usual DC display stand, which is sometimes an absolute godsend for some of these figures that are sometimes a little bit loose on the old feet. So it's always good that you can use these to help them stand. Now here's the actual figure in question, and the first thing that immediately springs to mind is just the sheer detail on this figure. I think you can distinctively make out that that is Ben Affleck's chin. So that is a very, very good likeness of a chin and a mouth. Now this is the goggles on version. There is a variant where you can have the goggles are raised and you can actually see his eyes. But I think I actually prefer this particular version. But the sheer detail on this figure, with the armour, the dents, the glimpses of the suit underneath, and interestingly, a plastic cape, as with most of the other DC Multiverse figures. They haven't really invested in cloth capes. They haven't started doing a mixture like Hasbro sometimes does with Marvel Legends or Star Wars Black Series. And I'm really loving the flexibility of the plastic used there. Gives it a real kind of like flowiness. That cape is really, really good. But yeah, the detail on this particular figure does come with one accessory, just the one, which is a standard Batman batarang with those distinctive marks in it that Ben Affleck's Batman uses in several of the films: Batman vs Superman, Suicide Squad and Justice League. But yeah, I'm absolutely amazed at the detail in this figure, with just the sheer sculpting of it. Very, very good. I think we'll give him a closer look on a new feature that I've got, and we can get a good look at the figure completely all the way around. And here we have it, a brand new feature. I've invested in one of these little turntables that you can get off eBay for about £10. That I have seen other YouTube toy channels use, and I thought, well, why not? Because this is just a great way to look at the whole of the figure in more detail without you seeing my cumbersome bloody fingers and thumbs like everywhere. So it gives us a chance to like really look at just how good this figure is in a full 360 way. And I've got him holding the batarang there, and just look at the sheer detail of that. Now, as usual, this is 22 points of articulation, so I'm going to see if I can have him in a couple of different poses and see which one I then like the most for my forthcoming Justice League display, which I'm trying to clear some space in the old bearded geek Fortress of Solitude, because we seem to be getting a little bit crowded. I might sort of like retire some of the books on the shelf, move them around slightly, put some of stuff into storage just so I can fit some of these other figures that I've got, because at the moment I've got the DC stuff and also the Marvel Legends stuff on my Blu-ray bookcase. That just comes to be a bit of an awkwardness when you're trying to select a Blu-ray, I get the Blu-ray off the shelf, because you have to like play with like musical chairs and move about like 6 action figures before you can get to the actual Blu-rays that you want to watch. So this I think is going to take pride in place of my display. But there you go, there's the Armoured Batman, portrayed by Ben Affleck, as seen in the 2021 film Zack Snyder's Justice League. Now, before we have a look in more detail at the Henry Cavill black-suited Superman, here's a quick look at his trading card, which I've just took out. Again, great image of Henry Cavill Superman there, and the usual brief description there of the character, again saying Justice League Director's Cut from film 2021. Okay, and also, as you can see, this is very similar to the Superman figure that I got from, which was based on Action Comics 1000. It doesn't come with your standard DC stand, it comes with a nice flying stand, so you can have him in that flying pose should you wish to. So that's going to be really, really cool, and I'll get that out and assemble that. So with this stand, you have 2 options. You've got obviously the standard option, does come with the peg hole there for the foot, again with DC logo on it. But as you can see, there's a section here, and then you've got this armature here, which you can then slide in like so, and click that into place, okay, like that. And then you've got this here, which will then go around the character's waist or another area of him, and you can have him particularly like flying or floating, or have him posed in a variety of different poses rather than just standing up. So that gives you a great option, and it is absolutely fantastic that they have these with the figures who fly. They don't always come with the characters. I did recently get another Superman figure, which I will do a forthcoming review on, and he disappointingly came with just the standard black stand. But again, if you've got several of these figures, you can then obviously swap the stands out and perhaps like use this stand for, you know, a different Superman figure if he doesn't come with, you know, this stand that allows him to float and fly. But without further ado, let's get a closer look at the actual figure himself in more detail. Here we have the Superman figure in more detail, and the first thing that strikes me is just what a remarkable face sculpt that is of actor Henry Cavill. Not a fake moustache in sight. McFarlane doesn't use digital face technology, but I do have to say, on the majority of their action figures that are based from the DC movies, their facial sculpts are second to none. They really are good. You know, it has got quite a heavy paint application on there, but it hasn't affected the sculpt and the facial likeness at all. It really is a great likeness of Henry Cavill. And then you've got obviously the sheer detail of the actual costume itself, the detail that's on Superman's S shield there on the front of his costume. You've got all the Kryptonian kind of like emblems and writing in there. Then you've got all this like embedded kind of detail that's on the figures. You've got the detail with the boots as well, and again this lovely plastic that the cloak, or the cape should I say, the cape is made up out of. And a nice detail there, it gives you that kind of like a indication there that the cape is actually bigger than it should be. It would have been perhaps nice if they give you 2 options, like so you could have this kind of like folded up version of the cape, and perhaps like another one that you could clip on to give him a more kind of like flowing, imposing cape for when you've got him on that particular stand. He's got a fist pose in one of the hands, and just a standard hand pose there. My previous Superman figure did come with 2 different hand options, but this has no other accessories besides the flying stand. It is literally just the Superman figure. But yeah, just look at the detail in there. Detail in the costume, completely accurate to the movie. And again, that is a very, very good sculpt. Now, one only fault of the figure I will say is that particularly when you've got him in that kind of pose, standing up, he is very much leaning his head forward. And I don't know whether it's a fault of the particular figure or the neck, but that neck is very, very prominent and it is leaning forward, so it kind of like gives you the impression that he is leaning his face really, really forward. So I suppose if you're having floating, then you've got him the option of like looking down like that. But that's probably one of the only faults I'd actually say about this figure in particular, as well as obviously the fact that it doesn't come with any other like appendages or any other accessories. But beyond that, you really can't fault this figure at all. You can get this in another variant. You can get him in the coloured, more traditional Superman costume, which is obviously your red and blue with the red and yellow Superman emblem and the red cape. But yeah, I do like this version, and obviously this is more faithful to how he actually appears in Zack Snyder's Justice League. The other one being obviously how he appeared in the original cut of Justice League, which is the Justice League. But he also does appear briefly in his traditional Superman costume at the beginning of Zack Snyder's version, because it shows the flashback of obviously how he, spoilers, died at the end of Batman vs Superman. There you go. So let's get him on the stand. Let's get him on the little display piece. Let's get him twirling around and let's see how he looks. So here he is. And as you can see with what I was talking about just earlier, he does look as if he's leaning forward very, very prominently there. I think it would be a little bit better if that neck was perhaps a little bit straighter. So when he's stood up like this in your more traditional character pose, it does look like he's just kind of like staring at the floor a little bit, and it is a bit of a shame that you can't move that head so it's more staring more directly in front of you. But beyond that, that's the only fault I could actually like lay down next to this figure. The rest of it is incredible. The sculpt, the detail, the costume, the applications, the material the cloak is made out of, really, really good. And up there with both the Batman that we've got there, and also the Speed Force Flash figure as well. So let's try him out on the other display stand and see what he looks like floating in midair. Here he is using the armature, which then gives him that impression of floating above the ground. And I've got his legs posed in a particular way, and I really do like the way that the armature kind of like gives the cloak that flowing effect, because obviously it's leaning against the back of the armature there, and obviously you've put it there around his waist. It's nice that it's clear plastic. Obviously it doesn't quite give that illusion that it's not there. You can see it, but it is a better choice for them to use clear plastic rather than use a dark or coloured plastic. But he looks really, really good like that. I was actually considering having him just stood up on the stand, but now I'm thinking I'm actually going to have him posed like this, because I think that's just a really good way of how he looks, and I really do like the way the cloak, sorry, I keep calling it a cloak, it's a cape, Superman's cape. The way Superman's cape really does look like it's flowing there in midair. That's really, really good. Absolutely really pleased with these two figures. These two figures were recently bought from Amazon, where they are in stock. They're also in stock on Zavi, I believe, and I think Zavi also have the two variants as well. So they have the traditional coloured costume of Superman, and they also have, I think, the goggles-less version of the Armoured Batman. I forgot to mention that there is actually a third variant of this Batman figure that you can get, and it is the Armoured Batman from the Justice League movie, but without the cowl. So it's Ben Affleck in his full face, not wearing the cowl, but wearing the Batman armour. And I will say that it does not do Ben Affleck's likeness justice, pun intended, and it's very similar to the Aquaman figure as well, which is a very kind of like dodgy likeness of Jason Momoa. Out of all the Justice League figures that you can get, the likenesses for Henry Cavill, Ray Fisher as Cyborg, and Ezra Miller as the Flash, they're all spot on, but the Aquaman figure is a little bit dodgy, and I will get that just to complete the collection. Obviously I will show that in a future video, but the cowl-less Batman is also a little bit dodgy with the likeness, so that's probably why that one is still in stock in lots of places, because it hasn't sold as well as the more standard Batman figure. So all in all, here you've got two figures from Zack Snyder's Justice League. They retail for $24.99 elsewhere on various websites. I got these both from Amazon just because purely I had some gift card money, so I was able to get both of these for roughly around about, I think I got the Batman for virtually next to nothing, and the same with the Superman because I was using a gift card. But they are $24.99 for the Superman figure, and I think the Batman figure you could probably find for around about £18-19 if you shop wisely online. I know they're both $24.99 on Zavi, but like I said, there are other websites available. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed the review, and look out for more reviews for this range of figures in the future. I will be getting hopefully Aquaman and Cyborg to complete the collection, and I'm also looking out for the deluxe figures of Steppenwolf and Darkseid. Now those figures are understandably a lot bigger than these regular figures. They're literally about twice the size and retail for around about £40 now, but they are quite difficult to get hold of because they were released in the US as exclusives, and you really do need to shop around in the UK and on UK websites if you want to try and get them. I know they're going for stupid money on eBay, which is somewhere where I would not recommend you buying these figures, because like I said, if you do shop around, you can get these figures. They are in stock in places, so it's just a case of being patient, and hopefully I can then complete the range, and then we'll have got a full lineup of the Justice League as well as the two villains from the movie, and to do a proper full review of. I'll leave the links for the other videos related to the film down below in the links in the description of this video. But thank you very much for watching. Well, if you enjoyed that video, then please leave us a like. It really does help out the channel. And if you like the content as well and haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and also that notification bell to be notified whenever we upload a brand new video. Speaking of which, we've got some other videos to come later this week. With some Star Wars Black Series to review. But in the meantime, stay safe, take care, and thank you very much for watching Bearded Geek Toy Reviews. We'll see you soon. Bye now.
Second chance. He's never fought us too bad. He's never.
Superman and Batman. Please leave his. I like it, really does help out the channel. And if you. I can't get my words out.